What up? What up? What up? TGIF, welcome into Pregaming here with Sports Money. Hope you guys are ready for a nice Friday card here. We got ourselves a full Major League Baseball slate tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun to break down these games with you guys. You'll see a ton of action we're going to cover here on the side. We've got action in Minnesota, Detroit, Texas, Toronto, Yankees, Boston, Dodgers, Houston, Pittsburgh, Arizona. And why not bring back some CFL after last night's casher? I'll tell you what, the under cash too. How about that? We got those plays in action. And then we're bringing on a debutante to Pregaming, not new to Sports Money. We tore it up during Euro soccer action out there, the Euro Championships, just 2 weeks ago. It's only right we bring this guy back to talk some UFC 304. It's a big pay-per-view card this weekend. Lots of fights. I think they got 14 fights in store for us. Pops off around 6 p.m. Eastern. And I know our guy's already given out a bunch of plays. He's got tons of things going on with this channel. And he's put out quite a great bit of content already. Last night was a late one. We'll talk to him about that when he gets on. Starting his shows at midnight. You know how late I got to stay up, Lou? We'll talk to Lou Betcha when he gets here shortly. I'm excited to have our guy come in and join us tonight. And that's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. We got a big card in store. 6:40 when this first game pops off. Then we roll around and we got some time till 7:07. So we do have to get busy. You guys already know the deal. Hit that thumbs up button. Show the support. We need you guys more than ever. The competition is fierce. The haters are hating. But it don't matter because you guys transcend all of that. The comments, the feedback, the likes, the reposts. It means so much, you guys. It's certainly helping crack this code in this marketplace and helping get sports money on the map. We're growing daily. We're giving you guys all kinds of great looks. We got new shows and content in the works. Things going on this week out there, golfing with Gokster. We're in the second round of the 3M. I was pretty busy today. I haven't even had a chance to see what is going on in the 3M. Let me just peep my eyes on this thing here as we're talking. Of course, First Strike is out there. Make sure you check it out. 4 plays, 3 fights. Again, it's a 14-fight card. Lines are on the move, so you're going to want to make sure you go tackle those. And then, hey, why not maybe parlay a couple of these things together with what our guy Lou's going to share when he comes on here. We got football plans in the works. We got basketball and hockey plans. And I'm excited. Hockey is going to be a lot of fun. We got all kinds of things popping off when it comes to the NHL. New guests, new faces. Everyone wants to line up and be a part of what you guys are doing out here, man. I love it. You know, we're all working together collectively to cook these books. And they're starting to take notice. We're starting to make some noise out there, you guys. That's what it's all about. Just scrolling through this card, just real quick, just a quick eyeball to see how some of these guys are doing. Specifically, Zach Johnson finished even today. Okay, he's still in there. He's still in the realm. It's all right. Plenty of things going on this weekend for golf. And, of course, you guys know Saturday. Saturday's where we all circle back. We hang out together. We bang down these UFC fights. We hammer MLB and everything else that's on the slate. Going to be some Olympic talk as well. So I hope you guys are ready. I've been looking at some Olympics here. A couple spots already. I know the tennis tournament starts tomorrow. So I do have some tennis plays. Do have a future bet for tennis. Don't do that very often, but these are like short in and out spots, and it's a 66-1. So I got to take a shot with this thing here for a tennis play and the women's side of things. Olympic tennis, Olympic sports in general. I mean, nothing beats the Winter Olympics, but summer's okay. I like some summer sports. Not many of them. You know, I care less about basketball, frankly. I care less about baseball and stuff like that, but I like them hurdles. I don't even mind the swimming. I'm cool with the swimming. There's a lot of things out there. Tennis, of course. Golf is going to be a lot of fun. Certainly a tight field. And a lot of guys and girls representing their countries with a lot of big names. So that's going to be a ton of fun to watch out there. We had that Ryder Cup. Look for C-Mac, myself, MMA Jeff to come out there this weekend and drop some Olympic golf content for you guys. If you're into that kind of thing, and why wouldn't you be? There's big prices to be had out there. So lots coming out, man. I'm excited. And we always got to work. We got to stay busy. We got to keep grinding. This money doesn't sleep. So we got to put it to work for us out there. And we start tonight with this big Major League Baseball card after yesterday. Kind of threaded the needle a little bit yesterday there. Hopefully you guys made some money as well. Let's take a quick peek here and see exactly what we did yesterday. Let me pull this up. Where is it? Well, last but not least, it's kind of funny the way the show started yesterday. I started with the last first, and now in the recap, it's at the last again. But how about Shang? How about Shang at plus 142? Men's tennis, Atlanta. I told you this guy's a grinder. Absolutely a grinder. And speaking of that grinder, he is underway now. Just started about 10 minutes ago. And a big favorite. How about that? This guy comes out there and he opens up as almost a minus 240. Minus 240 for a guy we picked up at plus 142 yesterday. Keep an eye on him. He's down 3-2 in the first set. 15 love, though. Now 15-15. So he loses his first set. We're firing on him to win that second set and win the tournament. We cashed in the CFL. Montreal, no doubter in that first half. Wasn't pretty. But all that matters is they got that 4-point victory. We cashed that -3 and the under slid in there for us. The Angels, the team total over 4.5. I'll tell you what, I told you guys I'm not a big team total guy, but all of a sudden we got, 3 in a row? 3 in a row on team totals? Maybe even more. We might even have another first 5 team total in there as well. Unfortunately, though, Shanuel didn't get – everybody scored. I was texting C-Mac last night. I was like, dude, everybody scored in this Oakland game except the 2 guys you and I gave out. And sometimes those are the breaks. We look at that Atlanta spot, first 5 under 4, never in doubt. They shit the bed at the end there against the Mets. So, look, all in all, not too shabby a day. We went out there and we were able to stack some profits. So small card, we do those the best. Nobody does them better than we do on the regular. And nobody does Saturdays like we do on the regular. I'm fired up for it, you guys. I'm gonna head out for a little dinner tonight. Gonna check in with some friends and family. I'm gonna be all ready tomorrow. We're gonna grind this thing out tomorrow. Big card, late night, lots of cocktails. It's gonna be a ton of fun. But let's get to work, you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on the regular. Y'all already know the deal. We need you to hit that thumbs up button now more than ever. It is super important. If you're making money, show the appreciation. Let us know that you appreciate the grind that we're putting through here. I mean, shit. Jay Peasy's going for 9 in a row. Jay Peasy's play of the day, looking for number 9. Bet your ass. 2:30, I think, in the morning. I sent that thing out there. He sent it to me. I edited it up. We sent it out the door. Give you guys as much time as possible to take a look at that thing and see if you're going to get in on that action. So we'll talk about that game tonight. 2 plays for me in that spot. And then, of course, as I mentioned, lots of action across the card. So shout out to Jay Peasy. Shout out and good luck to him tonight on his quest to get to them double digits. Looking for 9 is hell of an impressive job, my guy. I can't wait to get into it. So number 2, you guys know the deal. Grab a pen and paper. Lots of things to write down, especially tonight with plays, future looks, UFC action for everybody out there to get paid. We're just trying to stack money. Just trying to stack it high and let it fly. So you're going to want to take note of everything that's going down. And last but not least, we got the sharpest chat in the game. We've been refining our skills for almost a year now. Almost a year since that other show went on the air. And we've been working together, looking at these lines, getting sharp. It is the sharpest chat in the game. You're going to want to write down the plays that they're sharing, the trends that they're sharing. And, of course, we ask you guys in the chat, share your plays, share your best bets. Let's recognize what all you guys are cooking on as well. Busy schedule. We got to keep a brisk pace. Like to keep this thing moving and get you guys out of here in a timely basis. So let's go spin around the chat and see who's checking in with us here. And there's my guy. Stacks, baby. Stacks. Justin McCalvey, the play of the day. He's got Fitzgerald over 1.5 bases at plus 120. Nice plus money spot for our guy, Justin McCalvey. Let's go. Deer Slayer Ski says making money with Mikey LFG. One more night's sleep till the UFC. Let's have a weekend, everybody. I know it's going to be I get more and more excited. These weeks are going that much faster as we get ready and grind out for the weekend. So going to get all the UFC action laid out tonight. Deer Slayer Ski, it's going to be a lot of fun. Joe T's in the house. There's my guy, Joe T. Slacking. He's a slacker out there. Look at him now. Look at him. 3rd spot there in the comments. Shout out Joe T. Just kidding, my guy. The fuck your under play of the day. He likes the Padres and Orioles over 9. Joe T's been running hot. Make sure you follow him over there, Joe_T2010 at X. He posts his content there. Maybe we'll get him to start giving us some videos again. He's been real shady. Doesn't want to give you guys the recording. Just go follow him on Twitter. Now we got to get him back on the camera out there. I see Lou Betcha. This is definitely going to be handsomest show ever. Hell yeah. we got to bring in the eye candy. That's what Lou Betcha does for us out there. He ups the eye candy game. Subs in the house. There's my guy, Subhuman, the apex predator of the octagon, Subhuman Gaucho. Look at this. I don't even know what he's got here. League Cups leans. Atlanta, DC over 3. Sounders money line over 1.5. And the Pumas. That's a little Mexican soccer action out there. The draw no bet at -130. LA Football Club and the over 1.5 as well. Subhuman Gaucho busting out some soccer action, some footy action for all of us degenerates there that want. Let's go out there. I'll tell you what, I kind of like that. I kind of like that Sounders spot. I kind of like Sounders parlayed with LA Football Club. At first glance, I've been keeping my eyes on what's going on out there in the MLS. Oldies in the house says, what's good, ladies? Should we get cash? Fuck yeah, we should get cash. Why wouldn't we want cash, my guy? You know it already. Let's go. Sub says, going to have to initiate Lou into sports money inner circle. Grueling process, like the Freemasons. One girly times. Nearly broke Joe T. Shout out to you, Sub. I can't wait to rock tomorrow night. Get this UFC action. Lou says, I don't have Joe T's personality or constitution. I mean, look at Joe T or fancy microphone, he says. He says that too. Joe T does have that colorful little microphone rocking out there. Cliff Yang's in the house. What's up, Cliff? Keith each every stride says, looking forward to seeing what you got cooked up for tonight. Let's go. Appreciate that, my guy. And of course, we know Joe T is a sweetheart, isn't he? He's a sweetheart. There goes Shang. Speaking of sweethearts, Shang goes out there and breaks that first set. Morgan, I better put this over off to the side or it's going to be distracting. Morgan Spooner's in the house. This is on 2 spots tonight. Houston Astros money line and the Texas Rangers team total over 3.5. My guy NJ Striker's in the house. Joe T laughing back and forth. There's my girl Kelsey. Says, hey, Mikey, all we do is win. Hell yeah. My guy, the resident Toronto whisperer here, Bo Jackson, says he's at the game in the bleachers. Andrew looking shaky. Andy wanted to fade the Jays. We will absolutely be talking about that game. Substance, I think I can guess what Lou's going to talk about with like 69% accuracy, but it will be entertaining, even if I'm wrong. There's Jay Peasy. I told you guys, this guy coming in hot. Looking for 9 straight tonight. How can you not root for Jay Peasy? Not only does he have good energy, good vibes, a positive dude, always leading with the giving heart that he has without any expectation of receiving. And he's giving you 8 straight winners, trying to go for number 9 tonight. Got to make sure you give this guy some good juju, some good vibes. Tarek B, what's up? He says, I got the Rangers and Reds, Royals, and Cardinals parlay. Tell me I'm cashing. I like it. I think you cash that thing. I think, why not? Lou's going to give out the plus 8,000 for sure. He says it should be minus 110. Let's go, you guys. Diggs, BTW1. There's a name I haven't seen thus far. Welcome in. Welcome in, my brother. Appreciate you hanging out with us here. Trying to get this cash. Always welcome. Appreciate everybody out there. Lou says Danish handball starting soon. It's a growth market. Picks from Dave's in the house. Says hit the like button and subscribe. Hammercock. Trisha M. There she is. Trisha M's in the house. Says, hey, all TGIF. Dana Delp, the humble and gentle Mexican. Appreciate everybody coming out here, getting ready for us. Subhuman says, share your cocktails and drinks. Fixing my second Kentucky Mule currently. Man, I almost had a fucking stroke out there mowing the lawn today. It was so hot. I haven't even thought about a cocktail yet. Actually, I've been thinking about it, but to quote MMA Jeff, I stay buzzed so I don't have to get buzzed. Favorite saying of the day. Morgan Spooner says, shared the link before it started, but just remember to hit the like button. You're doing great work, Mike. Oh, appreciate that, Morgan Spooner. Listen, you guys showing up on the regular, dealing with me and my nonsense means a lot. You know, you guys can go anywhere else to get your action and your breakdowns, and you chose to be here. We got a lot of fun things rolling out there. We got some partners looking to get in the game. I'm trying to get you guys the best action we can. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We got work to do, but some fun things are coming. JPC says you got mail. Oh, You're not going to want to miss tomorrow's show. I'm that heat, says Boots on the Ground for the Braves Mets. Backing Sanga Day. DJ Hardy says, let's smack these bookies. Trans-Canada? Yeah, man. I don't know what happened there, Trans-Canada. I get a little wacky sometimes, I was all excited about the cash and action we had, and I got a little wacky. So we can't let that happen again. Listen, it's not the first time I fucked up, and it absolutely won't be the last. In fact, if it doesn't happen tonight, the over-under tomorrow on number of times is set at 2.5. So we'll see what happens. Dana Delp says, parlay, here we go. Parlay. Reds Nerfy. Ellie De La Cruz plus 1.5 bases. Benson under 0.5 hits. There's an interesting little spot. And the Reds money line at 1,300. I like it, my guy. I like the creativity there. Casting that wide net. He also likes the Philly run line at plus 124. I think Phillies beat the shit out of him tonight, but it'll be interesting to see. I kind of feel like they were waiting for this series. Like this very much has, the top team in the AL and the top team in the NL. There's a lot of great matchups in baseball this weekend too. So even if you're just a casual fan, we're not going to see, there's some shit teams playing for sure. But even the shit teams are stomping out there. We see, Oakland Athletics doing it again last night. Shout out. Speaking of Joe T, I know he was on the Oakland first 5 team total over and the full game team total over. We were on the Angels first 5 or the Angels full game team total over. We all cashed. It was a lot of fun out there. And J Stone 9. He's got the air conditioner on my balls play of the day. It's the Reds team total over 3.5. That sounds comforting. That sounds delightful. J Stone 9. Dana Delp says, subhuman cheers. There's Kelly V. KV in the house there. Arizona -1. Under 8. No loser. Team total under. Series loser. Lots of data in there, huh? Arizona -1 and the under 8. Minnesota -1 as Scooble goes tomorrow. Winner covers run line 7 of 10 times. My guy Gerardo Hernandez says, sup, fellas? Let's go. Pittsburgh, Arizona this weekend and next weekend too. Justin McKelvey says, that's why you pay someone to do your lawn. Man, I did that, but they want too much money now, dude. I'm not going to, I don't mind the grind. I understand there's inflation, but the fuck, twice in a year, 2 years in a row? You can go fuck yourself. That's what I say. I'll push that shit. It takes me an hour. It's good exercise. Gets me out there chatting up the neighbors a little bit. Lets them see me when I'm yelling, go, go, go at 10:30 at night. At least they see me out during the day. They know I'm not a total fucking vampire. You know what I mean? Gerardo Hernandez likes the Yankees -118. And there's our guy, LJ from H-Town. Appreciate my guy, LJ. Hope you're doing well down there in Houston. He says, Trollo G play of the day. We haven't seen one of those in a minute. Astros first 5 money line. Kelly V 4-game series. Colorado, San Francisco double header Saturday. Woo. Kelly says Saturday over. Cleveland, Philly, and San Fran with Birdsong. I call him bird shit, but it's all good. Let's go. Let's get to work. I appreciate all you guys and girls checking in. Stephen Harrison's in the house. Says, damn, dog, I'm on the Dodgers first 5. Yikes. Well, let's get to it, guys. Let's get to work. We got to keep a brisk pace. We got a lot of things going on. We got about 25 minutes till our boy drops in here. And we don't want to keep our new guest on ice, albeit the air conditioner and a block of ice sounds pretty nice. But let's talk about 6:40 p.m. I'll tell you, nobody's reached out about the graphics. So either you guys like them or you just don't give a shit, or there's nothing else you want to see. Somewhere in between. But I'm always willing to add and change based on what you guys want to see for your breakdowns and feedback here. The Tigers line opened up as home dogs, +142. They've moved up to +160. Interesting spot. Pros versus Joes. 76% of the bets on the Twins. 55% of the cash on the Tigers. You guys know the deal. We look at this thing in 3 buckets. The bet's typically going to constitute parlays, $5 tickets, teasers. It's the mash. It's everything that rolls in. How are all the tickets being cashed or produced? Then we look at the money. Typically the money more associated with sharper bettors, mostly because they're bigger bettors. They're not playing parlays, 3 or 4 leggers. They're just going in there with a backpack full of cash. They're going up to the window and saying, give me 10 dimes on this spot or that spot. And then what we do is we look at those numbers and we want to see what the books are doing to react. Now, there's a lot of fallacy in this business here because there's a lot of people that try to look at, everyone wants to come up with a different number they're using for the opening line. Stop it. Stop it. You need the first number, the absolute first number to hit the street. And then we look at that and we say, okay, based on that first number to hit the street, maybe some of those other books that have different kind of sharp bettors or bigger bettors are handicapping that initial number. That's where shit gets flawed. You need the first number to hit the street. First number to hit the street was the Minnesota Twins minus 168. It's only moved 2 cents. Only moved 2 cents to minus 170. As far as the total's concerned, started at 8. Some 7.5s out there. 97% of the bets, 96% of the cash on the over. And I don't know if this one's just too easy. I don't know if this one's just too good to be true. But I'm going to jump in on it here. If it is, what happened here? What happened here? What happened here? That's what happened here. We look at these pitchers, and Montero's got a 5.97 ERA. He's terrible. And then we got Lopez. Not the Lopez of the Miami years here. This guy with a 4.87 ERA, 8-7 on the season as well. Playing out there at Comerica. You know, I have a hate relationship with the 313 at Comerica. I can never seem to get these Tigers play on spots in the accurate direction here. We look at the Tigers, their last 4 games. They won 8-2 against Cleveland. They lost 5-4. They lost 2-1. They won 3-0. Not a shit ton of scoring. That first game of a series, they do seem to come out and fire. On the other hand, the Minnesota Twins, 2-1 series beatdown of them Phillies. They're 7-2. They lost 3-0. They won 5-4. The biggest note to take here when you look at what's going on with this Minnesota team, they got some of their pieces back. You know, we talked about this with the White Sox, where we're starting to see some of these hitters come back and we're starting to see them perform or at least put some runs up. Very much a similar situation with this Minnesota team. The biggest guy, Byron Buxton. I don't know where the hell he went to start the season or to kind of finish off the first half of the season, but he wasn't producing. As of late, though, since June 11th, 359 batting average out there. The guy's out there cranking. Problem is, you know, they still got some guys out there. Carlos Correa. This is supposed to be a Royce Lewis bounce back spot. The last time Royce Lewis came back in the lineup, we were all over the Twins and we were banging away on their totals. Makes a lot of sense. Then we look at this and why the full game and not the first 5? You know, we see these 2 guys, Montero and Lopez, because I want the bullpen factored into this thing. Tigers bullpen is just crushed, overtaxed at this point, and then some. Defensively, I believe this is a spot where you want to let this team, you know, give them enough rope to hang themselves, this Tigers team out there. Defensive runs saved, kind of right in the bottom half of Major League Baseball. And then we look at some other factors here. How about this one? Detroit. They're in an 8-0 over spot after a game where 0 runs allowed, and they went less than 8 hits. That tells me they got super lucky, played outside of themselves, and they regressed back to who they are, which is a shit baseball team. They're not playing defense. They got a tax bullpen. We got players, key components coming back in this lineup. And there we go. Looking at this Minnesota lineup. Willie Castro's hitting 500 against Keider Montero. Byron Buxton, 333. There's Trevor Larnach. There's Royce Lewis back in the lineup in the 4-hole. There's Maxi Kepler. Carlos Santana. The only one they're missing really at this point is Carlos Correa. I don't think it's going to matter. This number's low. This number's disgustingly low. I don't know if it's because the wind's coming in or what the case may be, but I'm rocking with it. I'm taking that over 7.5 number. We get to 8s, and it was a low juiced opportunity. So for me, it was absolutely all in for me on this Minnesota over spot there. Just think it's a good opportunity to get it done. Just think it's a good opportunity. I don't want to miss some of these things going on in the chat. Let's see what's going on. Man, you guys came in pumping out there. Some great stuff. There we go. Kelly D says Kansas City 12-5, first home game of a series. I almost went official. Let me make sure I didn't hear. I almost went official with that first 5 under. In fact, I have a multi-leg parlay that has it under 5.5. Just as a little kicker in there to add some juice. AOD's in the house. Mike, our brother for life. What's up, AOD? Hey, yo. It's good to see you, my guy. Kelsey says, graphics look great, but I don't understand the poo, Angels, and stay away. Kelsey, that is called the shit list. Something that I have been talking about for a long time. And as you'll see, there's only one team on the shit list. It is the Angels. How do they get on the shit list? Well, I think I lost 5 straight times with them. They even fucking lost again yesterday. even after they get a couple runs scored on them, they pump a bunch of runs out there, take a big, 5-2 lead, and then they roll over and they lose the game 6-5 again. That's how you end up on the shit list. So the stay away, just a cautionary, Kelsey. It's a shit list. It's an angry turd. And he's giving the middle finger to the Angels. We'll update this as we go, but there's only been one shitless candidate thus far. We'll keep our eyes on it, though. Deep and Sensitive says, I'm going to do the dance, the monster mash when we cash these bookies' heads tonight. Justin McKelvey says, stop it. I was just saying that the other day. I said, I haven't said that in a minute. Justin. Kelly V says, Kelsey, the killer POD. Hello to you and Trisha M. Let's go. Kelsey says, Professor Mikey yelling. Am I yelling? I get excited, you guys. It's hard for me to keep it in check. Juggler 23 says, my MLB action, Braves plus 120, Red Sox under 4.5 runs, team total, both 4 units, 4-unit plays, 38 and 14. You're not due for regression, Juggler 23. You're going to go strive forward and kick the shit out of these bookies, my guy. Let's go. Kelly V says, Scooble tomorrow. So I get it, Mikey. And then Kelsey Killer play of the day is them Red Sox out there. She says, smash the likey for Mikey. Let's go. Let's roll onward here. Appreciate you guys all rocking for us. We got to get this thing moving. I told you, my boy's back there. He don't fuck around. We don't want to find out if he does either. That's for sure. We don't want to be in that old fuck around and find out situation. So let's keep it rolling, you guys. Let's go. Let's keep this brisk pace. We got Texas and we got Toronto coming up here next. This is a double dipper spot for me. What's going on here? Let me get my shit together. Let me get my head and my ass wired back in check here. There we go. We're wired back up here. I got a new camera because this camera's been giving me some shit, but I got to do something with the setting because it's a flat wall behind me, but it was rounded. It was rounded for some reason. So let's see what we got here. Anyhow, I digress. Let's take a look here. Little battle in the AL, the American League. The Texas Rangers rolling on north. We the 6 and the Blue Jays trying to handle business out there. Another pros versus Joes situation. We have 61% of the bets on Toronto, but we have 70% of the cash on the Rangers. 5 cents of movement towards the Blue Jays went from minus 112 to minus 117. Of course, we saw Bo Jackson, boots on the ground, saying Heaney doesn't look so sharp. He did come off a 0 earned run allowed previous game. He's been working with a new pitching coach of note. This total's gone from 9s to 8.5s down to 8s. We have 91% of the bets and 85% of the cash on the over. And it's Kikuch with a 4.54 ERA. He's 4-9 on the season. And there's Heaney, 3.6 ERA. Surprisingly, he's a pile of dog shit. He's got a 4-10 record. But man, we try to look at this kind of recent form and what's going on, especially with the All-Star break inside of there to kind of factor in a little bit of time off for this guy to work on some of those mechanics. And he bounces out there and he fires right off the gate. Now, you look at this Toronto situation. They're 1-2 in that 3-game stand against Tampa Bay. They lost the first game 4-2. I believe that was the Gausman start. Then we win 6-3. They win 6-3. They lose 13-0. Now, on the surface, hey, we got our shit pushed in. We should fire back out there. Not so fast. Not all shit pushing in is created equal. When we look at this Toronto team, specifically some of the numbers that I was looking at for this thing here, we just got kind of this intersecting point of just smash them right over the fucking head with a stick like they're a baby seal. We got the team starter. Teams off a win, started through less innings the last start, but a quality start before that. We want to get involved. and we want to be on this Rangers team. Now, we look at this Kukuc. How does Kukuc do historically against the Rangers? He sucks. He's 0-6 straight up. He's 0-6 in the first 5. The team as a whole is 2-10 straight up, and Kukuc starts out there against the Texas Rangers. Kukuc, 4 earned runs in 5 innings. What does he do when he allows 4 or more runs the previous start? It's a perfect 10-0 to the over. Perfect 10-0 to the over for Kukuc. In fact, the teams that he's playing, he's allowing 7.4 runs a game in those starts. But Andrew Heaney against the Blue Jays, must like playing in Toronto. He's 0-7 to the under, a perfect 7-0 to the under. That tells me a couple things. One, Toronto's bats get cold. Kukuc struggles to find the sweet spot against Texas. And Heaney goes out there and does his job against the Blue Jays with rest, with positive mechanics, in a bounce-back spot and type of revenge situation out there. It's a huge opportunity, last but not least. Kikuchi specifically, playing a team that sucks. Sucked is defined by less than 50% win record, 32% to 50%. Those dogs are 21-4. Not just Jay Peasy, but the dog roll against Kikuchi is 8 straight wins in those spots out there when they're on a shit team. 8 straight wins, going for 9. Just like our guy Jay Peasy out there doing what he's doing as well. I got to double dip this game. This is a double smack spot for me. This is both the first 5 and the full game. I got the 104 and the 110 spots out there. No way I want any piece of this Toronto action here. They got busted up 13-0 for a reason. And it was against Tampa, who was selling parts. Look what they did. They moved a Rosarania out to Seattle. Everybody was open for business to try to go jockey some picks around out there, and they still kicked the shit out of Toronto at home. Now it's going to change because it's Texas. Don't look now. Texas won 5 straight games. Heaney or not, I don't think Kukuc is the spot for this one here. It's the spot I got to take involvement here. Morgan Spooner says Blue Jays and Rangers are heading in opposite directions right now. 3.5 runs for the Rangers was too easy for me. How do the Rangers win without scoring 4 runs with Heaney on the mound? I agree. I absolutely agree with that conversation there. Ramon Scott says Freddie Freeman late scratch tonight. What's up, Ramon Scott? Kikuchi has a drinking problem. Hey, it's only a problem when the cocktails run out. That's what happens there. Justin McKelvey says, nice. Watching show on new phone is clutch. Appreciate you, McKelvey. Let's go. Onward and upward, you guys. A double dipper for me with this Toronto spot out there. I gave you guys, or I'm sorry, with this Texas spot. I gave you more than enough to show you Kikuchi. Now, anything can happen. We all know that situation. But let's roll on. Let's get involved in this Jay Peasy special. We got to get ourselves a little action here. Why not? I am going to tail my guy, Peasy. And I'll talk to you guys about that in a second. I'm also going to add another piece to this as well. The Red Sox and the Yankees, the most electric battle in baseball. At least if you're an AL East fan or you live in the Northeast. We see the Red Sox opened up as plus 108 home dogs. They've now moved to plus 105. We have 61% of the bets and 64% of the cash on the Yankees. Then we look at this total. 82% of the bets, 78% of the cash on the over. We know it's Nasty Nestor. We know Nasty Nestor likes to play at home, not so much on the road. We know that. He's got a 4-9 record overall, so it doesn't necessarily matter where he likes to play. He's just not finding a way to string together wins. But Bello on the Bayo on the other side, 5.27 ERA. He is 10-5. You know, it's interesting. We talked about this kind of strategy for teams that were going into the All-Star break. When you're a bag of shit, you kind of got to grind. You don't have the benefit and luxury of planning your 3-day vacation. You got to grind and try to finish strong to get yourself back in the running. And that's what the Red Sox did there to go into the All-Star break. We know coming out of the All-Star break, though, they haven't been so great. They got 1 win, 1 against Colorado. 1, 6-0. Now, it was at Coors. It is Colorado. We know that they're battling for biggest bag of shit in the Major League Baseball standings. But then they go back that following game. They get roasted 20-7. Now you could say maybe it's a look ahead spot. I guess they're I mean, it makes sense. You'd want to take this Yankees team serious. Then you look at this Mets team. The Mets down the Yankees again 2 times. I think the Mets swept this little Subway series. I think the Mets are 4-0, if I'm not mistaken, in that Subway series. Last game of the series against the AL East was against Tampa Bay. They won that game 9-1. By the numbers, breaking it down, looking at this thing, 2 things I jumped in on here. First of all, I like some runs in the first 5. Both these pitchers have not had command and control in their last 3 starts. They've seen some of their numbers kind of dwindle. I do think Nasty Nestor's not as bad as that record shows from a kind of tip my hat perspective with that 4-9. And I got to think that these Yankees try to find a way to step up in this series. Now at 60-44, they got to gun these boys down. When we look at the Boston Red Sox, the first 5, I looked at the 4.5. I took the over. Starting pitchers that have an ERA between 0 and 4.8, when they're sitting there with a total over a 9 or higher, they've been winning at almost a 58% clip to the over. 319 and 238 to the over in those spots for the first 5. It's going over by almost 1.3 runs. So if you can't get the 4.5 and you can only get the 5, I'm okay with that, because then we look at the Yankees and they're 10-0-1 to the over when they're in the favorite role and they got less than 4 runs their previous game. So that's a team. We talked about kind of the flip side of this with Detroit, where they shut people down and then they shit the bed the next game. The Yankees are the flip side of that. When they shit the bed, those bats tend to come back to life, 10-0-1 to the over. Go check out JP's video. I don't want to steal any of his thunder, you guys. Only ask you to show that support and, make sure you tune in to see what he's doing. But let me talk about this one here, the Red Sox. Now, mind you, they're coming out of that Coors series as well. We know teams kind of struggle when they come out of Coors. When the Red Sox are at home after a road game, they're 0-12. They're not just 0-12. They're getting busted up. They're getting busted up by almost 5 runs, 4.89 runs per game in those spots at home after a road trip. How could you want to put your money on that? Come on. You got to take a shot with these. And this line's come down. I mean, right now we're looking at this Yankee spot. I mentioned it opened at minus 126. Okay, there's been a little bit of uptick back. Minus 112s are no longer there. We got minus 115. Then there's a 118. So FanDuel does not have the best number. We always know that's important. Minus 120s on BetMGMs and now minus 125s on DK. So the DK's almost got this thing right back to where it started. And I believe it was either me pounding the shit out of that action that moved that number back, or they're expecting the Yankees to come out there and fire this thing. Could very well be me pounding the shit out of this thing to try to move that action back. I'm not sure. Not entirely sure. I see JP's saying, bust it up. And Morgan Spooner says, Tyler O'Neill hits, runs, RBIs at minus 120. Looks enticing. The Sox rely on O'Neill. I'll tell you what. Keep an eye on Yoshida. This guy here has been inconsistent at best right now, but his home run prop is stupid priced right now. You don't hear me often say, O'Neill's sitting at plus 360 for his home run. Yoshida, plus 1150. Doesn't even make sense. Guys, next to Devers, he's one of the best hitters on this Red Sox team. Then you look at his RBI is plus 250 for his fucking RBI. Make it make sense. I expect to see some runs. I think they can get to Cortez a little bit. I think the Yankees overpower him and win this thing at the end of the day. But that number just don't make any sense to me here. Yoshida, if I was even just a fucking straight play, I don't know. That seems like a guy. How could he not? How can he not make a lineup of some sort, or even just a flyer? Even if you threw $10 on the guy to hit a home run to win $115. I mean, look, you got to make your own decisions here, but that just seems drastically underpriced for a guy that, I always want to go with the he's due angle. He is fucking due, especially where you see some of this back and forth. The Red Sox lineup certainly is less than to be desired, but he's in the 6 hole and he's got 2 at-bats, but no success against Nasty Nestor. He's doing that front as well. Don't make any sense that his numbers are where they are. Then you look around the rest of this lineup here. It's going to be trouble for this Red Sox team. Duran's 250. Robbie R's 462. Connor Wong's 167. Devers 214. Tyler O'Neill, no hits, no success. Yoshida, no hits, no success. Rami Gonzalez, 2 hits, 2 at-bats. Perfect, 100%. And then Rafaela and Westbrook there at the bottom. I think the Yankees are going to bludgeon these boys here. I think this is a great play. One of my favorites on the card. Not my absolute favorite, although Ramon Scott's news there might have tipped my hat a little bit. Let's go. Let's talk about this next game. We got to pick it up. We got to get this stuff in. We got my boy ready to rock. I can't keep him waiting. Let's go. Let's get after it. Let's talk about this next game. I'm looking at the Dodgers. I'm looking at the Astros. And I'm looking at a line that's on the move from -108 to -125. The books opened this thing up. They thought it was a coin flip. 67% of the bets and 59% of the cash thought the home team and the Astros were the play. We look at a total with 81% of the bets and 80% of the cash on the over. Let's move to half a run. Gavin Stone, 3.19 ERA. Houston's going out there with Framber Valdez, 3.64 ERA. Both these pitchers getting W's on their records. They're pitching well. It's 9-3 for Gavin Stone. 8-5 for Framber. This is just my suspicion with this game. I'll talk to you guys about some numbers, but Framber probably already has a runner on first and second, would be my guess. I haven't looked to see if the game, I know it hasn't started yet, but I think they might just say, you know what? It's going to be hot. Let's save everybody the effort. We know Framber's going to put him out there anyways. Let's just let 2 runners start on first and second. And that's kind of the way I think this game's going to go down. Now, that being said, I do think there's an opportunity to see a lower scoring spot here. Gavin Stone, when he plays the Astros, he's 4-0 straight up. Huge number that jumped off the page for me. There was a couple other spots that I talked about. The Dodgers on the road in the first game of a series. I don't have time to pull it up. We got to keep things rolling. It's a huge number. I talked about some of those earlier today with our guy, Jimmy the Bag. I wanted to jump it on this thing. I took a double spot here, and I'll show you exactly how I addressed this one. Up. Bear with me. I got to keep this in there for record-keeping purposes. Framber Valdez, when he does play the Dodgers, despite the fact that he lets the Ducks on the pond on a regular basis, he's 0-5-1 to the under. Gavin Stone's been shoving. He's catching dubs. He's stomping on this Astros team. Framber's out there keeping him off the scoreboard. Why not this first 5 under 4.5? I like the Dodgers full game. I told you guys, first game of a series on the road for the Dodgers. Very much a real thing. We see Gavin Stone and what he's been doing out there. On top of that, this is a spot that I want to get involved with, and then some. So the first 5 under 4.5, starting to get a little pricey. -120. Best number's not on FanDuel. That's super important for us here in this business here. -135 is now on DraftKings. It is -125 on FanDuel, but -120s are widely available as well. Decided to get down on some Dodgers action here. And the fact that Freeman's out of the lineup doesn't make me like the Dodgers less. It makes me like that first 5 under even more. Freddie Freeman really hasn't been doing anything exciting anyways. There we go. 2-0 in that Twins game. Let's go, baby. I love to get that stuff going. All right, we got 2 more plays. I got to get moving for you guys here. We got our boy just about ready to rock, so I can't keep him back there. I get excited, you guys. I get excited about this shit, and I got to keep it moving so we don't fall victim to keeping our guest waiting. Let's talk about this game here. This one's going to be a little grandma is wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day. Grandma likes that tiny little string. In the summertime, especially, it seems like here. This Diamondbacks team opened up at -172. They're at -166. We have 82% of the bets and 69% of the cash on the Diamondbacks. Then we have a total. 84% of the bets, 81% of the cash on the over. Zach Gallen, 3.64 ERA. Ortiz with a 2.57 ERA. Both these guys catching wins. 5-2 for Ortiz, 7-5 for Zach Gallen. We look at some recent performances out there. And, again, you guys know the deal. I like to look at kind of the recent bag. Diamondbacks feeling good about themselves. That hot Kansas City Royals team out there gunning everybody down. They took them down 2-1. It was a score fest, 8-6, 6-2, 10-4. But I think this is a little bit coming back home, a little regression spot there. They played the Cubs before that. Every one of those games went to the under. And then we look at the Pirates. What are they on, a 5-game under streak? 6-game under streak as well for this Pittsburgh Pirates team. I dove in on this one here. Let me just double check and make sure I got this one right. Yeah. Yep. You're not reading it wrong. I took the Arizona minus 1.5 in the under 8. That's plus 385. Now, risk adverse, Arizona in the under, certainly an endorsed play. The reason I went with the minus 1.5 is because I do expect them to stomp. I do expect this thing to be a lower scoring game. And I do expect when it comes down to it, we want the fact that the team goes up early, coming off that series, playing hot against the Kansas City Royals, that we want to take a shot with this thing because we know that home team goes up by 2 or 3 runs. They're not getting those extra 3 at-bats in the 9th inning. Super important when we go the old grandma special there between a run line and the under. You can take the -1. I wouldn't do it. I like the 385. I wouldn't mind a straight play on the under itself, but for me, that's the spot that I jumped into, guys. Let's go. One last play for you. Keep it moving. And then I want to bring our boy on here to talk some UFC. Let's go back to the CFL. Why not us? We had a big winner yesterday. I told you guys, I had a 4-3 record going into the CFL. Now last night, that moves me to 5-3. And I was looking at this one and I kind of thought, someone's always got to go. We look at these 2 spots here. First of all, for a team that hasn't done shit on the road, which is the Calgary Stampeders, 0-3 this season on the road. This line opened up suspiciously low, sitting at 2s, now dropped to 1.5s. Ottawa, 4-2, 3-0 at home, a perfect record out there. Impressive to see that they're doing that at home, but this is a big spot. This is a pivotal point for the CFL season here, where we need the Calgary. Calgary's got a shit defense. There's no question about it. But Ottawa, not really overly that enamored. They're middle of the pack in passing. They're middle of the pack in rushing. They're middle of the pack across the board when it comes to all the statistics. And we're seeing this line drop now when it comes to this Stampeders team. This is a 3-3 team trying to push themselves over the 500 line. And I got 1.5s. So just kind of be short, sweet, and to the point so we can get our boy back on this thing. I think they win the game outright. We look at how they've done collectively and historically against this Ottawa team. These are both battles of mediocre teams. You see it in their records, 3-3 and 4-2. These boys will be perfectly tied with each other after this game. I do expect Calgary to pull the upset. Why not take the rouge and a half in your back pocket to make it happen? A little CFL, a little quick CFL for you guys here because I want to bring this next guy on stage. I'm excited. Get him to make his show debut here with what we've got happening with Pregaming. He's not new to sports money. Let me get this thing teed up. Let me bring him in. Let's get this thing rolling. My guy, quickly becoming one of my favorite guys to watch on screen, Lou Betcha. Lou, how we doing, my guy?
My old friend. How are you, man? Supposed
Fired
to be my
up to
day
have you
off.
back
I
in
did
the
like 2
saddle,
shows
dude.
today. I don't know how that played out, but always happy to be here chopping shit up with you. Shout out to the chat. A lot of people I've seen here before. How are you feeling about this card, my friend?
I am fired up. I am fired up about tonight's card, and I'm jacked up about tomorrow's card. Lou, I got some questions for you with this UFC thing. Let's get right to the game here. I know you've shot 27 shows this week. Your fucking midnight show on a Thursday is special.
We're out of hand.
I'm still laughing about that comment. I DM'd you this morning. I was like, dude, that was some funny shit about that guy's dog. I'm still laughing this morning. I literally was spitting my drink. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you guys, you got to check out Lou. He'll talk about his channel here in a minute. But you're looking for some MMA content. Frankly, nobody does it better. These guys have the creative mind and then some. They got some fun games that they play, Jeopardy style, and they got a lot of fun content. And I love the sign off here. The old cover your bag, but
protect your bags.
Protect your bag. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me on the straight and narrow. I'm new to this whole thing, but Lou, I was looking at these weigh-ins. has the WWE completely taken over the shenanigans that go into pre-fight antics? I mean, there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of smack talk now. I mean, the storylines are getting hyped up, and it looks like we got some really great matches on hand. But what the fuck is going on?
I think it's funny that the biggest craziness that happened was with Manel Kopp and Makayev in a fight that is going to end with Makayev just trying to ball sniff him for 15 minutes and get takedowns and throw no strikes. So I don't really understand the animosity there. I do have a WWE theory about this card on the main event. I think there's zero chance that Bilal Muhammad wins, because if he wins, we end up getting a rematch, and then the title at 170 kind of gets locked up. So I think if Bilal somehow wins a dominant decision, Dana White's music's going to hit. He's going to come out with Shavkat. He's going to have his Money in the Bank contract. He's going to be like, hey, Bilal, your first title defense is right now. And Shavkat's just going to murder him in like 18 seconds. So, but that's not why you have me for a main event prediction. You have me for best bets.
I want to hear some best bets out there. I know you've been grinding all week on the car. I gotta say, I don't think anybody works harder in the battling of the MMA breakdowns than you and the crew, man. So I'm excited to hear what you want to share with us for some of these best bets out there. One last question for you. Speaking of contracts and money in the pocket, Patty the Batty getting the big deal. Is that a big deal, or is it just kind of pacifying because he's got a big name?
He's just another guy, to be honest. We're going to talk about his fight in a second. He's just another guy. Look, I don't hate him like other people. You know, he's cringy, but also he's in his 20s. And in all fairness, every human being I know in their 20s, as a 46-year-old, everybody's cringy in their 20s. So I don't need to deal with him. But I think his skill set is underrated because he's had a couple of, he didn't finish Tony Ferguson in a fight that maybe he should have. He lost to Jared Gordon, even though the judges gave him the benefit of the doubt. But Jared Gordon is another underrated guy. So I think Patty, his management team is good. They're bringing him along. We'll get to that fight in a second for my like really fun bet. But I got a 2-leg parlay for you at plus 160 something that I really like. Leg 1 is Sam Patterson under 1.5 rounds. And leg 2 is the Nathaniel Wood under 2.5 at minus 150 range. Put them together, it's about plus 160. Sam Patterson, Kiefer Crosby. I got the flawed line on Fanatics that I showed you. They had flipped the props. It should have been plus 110. Patterson round 1, round 2 sub. They listed it at plus 2,000. I got literally as much money down as they said. Garrett said his bets got voided. I'm praying that they do not void this.
Oh, I didn't even look. I got down there as soon as you sent it to me. I was like, I'm not fucking around. I'm going to
get that bet down, man. Take advantage of a broken line. Kiefer Crosby is not good, and his only asset is he's going to come forward. He's going to throw punches. Guy can't defend takedowns. Cardio is awful. Sam Patterson got absolutely bonked in his first fight by Ashmaz, and a guy that's like 18 feet shorter than him. He has tall man defense. Crosby's whole win condition is round 1. If you want to play that, it's like plus 1,300 for his KO. I don't hate it. But if this fight hits the ground at all, if Patterson gets one takedown, and he's learned because in his last fight against Johan Lyoness, who is a very similar profile to Kiefer Crosby, he took him down within the first minute and subbed him immediately. And I think that's the path here. So I like Patterson to win by submission early, but the under 1.5 at juice, I'd be shocked if this thing got out of the first round, let alone the 1.5 minute mark. As far as the Daniel Pineda and Nathaniel Wood fight, I mean, Mike, you're a trend guy. It's rare that you see a guy in Daniel Pineda 100% finish rate with 40 professional fights. He has 28 wins. They're all by finish. And he has overturned fights because he's done allegedly, but also really a lot of steroids. So he has finishes that don't even count. So this dude is a finisher of the highest order. He's also older. He's also a little bit of a gas bag. And Nathaniel Wood, not really finishing people at a high clip at the UFC, but I think this is kind of a custom-made matchup for him where if he survives the first, he's going to be able to take Pineda down. Pineda, after round 1, typically looking for a way out. Caceres should have finished them. Bruce Leroy just decided to do nothing in round 3. Pineda was just begging for the door. The ref said twice, if you hit him a couple more times, this fight's over. And Caceres just did nothing. But I don't know how this fight goes distance either. I think it's either Pineda round 1 sub, which I poked at plus 1,700, or it's Wood 2-3, but under minus 150 there, I think is a really nice price. So parlay them together, it's plus 160. That's my preferred little plus money play for you. I do have another play if you want it.
Let's hear it. We're all ears. This is becoming an MMA community in ourselves here. We've been having so much fun on Saturdays. I know you've been a part of what we're doing on Saturdays. And
I have. And since you brought up my channel, I should mention that the First Strike gang of Mike, Subhuman, and Jeff will be on this week's Props to Consider and Then Maybe Bet. They will be having fun chopping up fights with me, having some goofy time. I'm sure you guys will have a good time watching, and I know the four of us will have a blast breaking it up. But if you watch that show, one thing I give away every week is what's called the Yam Bag Special. I bet a point deduction prop. It doesn't have to be a ball shot. It's funnier. I don't care if I'm immature. It's way funnier if it's that way. But we're betting a point deduction. And if there's one meme fight on this card, it would be Patty the Batty against King Green. I do think a point deduction's very live here, but the bet I'm going to give away is not the 20-1 point deduction, Mike. I don't get out of bed for 20-1, but I get out of bed for 80-1. And I took a small poke on the draw in the Patty the Batty and King Green fight, and there's two reasons it could happen. I think a point deduction is definitely live. If somebody has deducted a point, it's going to be Bobby Green. And I also think that Bobby Green, when you look at him historically, his cardio is great and his volume goes way up in the third round. This guy has lost a lot of split decisions, and it's because he's always a slow starter. Patty's a very fast starter. Right. His cardio also wanes a little bit in the third round. And Bobby Green throwing 50 to 60 strikes on average in some of these fights. I think a 10-8 is very viable in the third round for Bobby Green. And if he 10-8s him, then that draw is very live. So at 80-1 for a small play, I know a lot of people like the Bobby Green side here. I get it. I think it's more they think that Patty is just kind of fraudulent. But I don't know, man. Looks in great shape. Patty's only going to get better. Bobby Green, as much as I love the guy, and I do, and he's made me money, and I'm a fan of his, he is getting older. There's some diminishing returns now with his chin. His chin used to be one of his best weapons. It is starting to go a little bit. I don't know that Patty can exploit it, but it's certainly a fear. I also don't think Patty can grapple here. I think Green's takedown defense is super underrated. It's high level. I think it's a 15-minute standing fight. I think Patty has success early. I think as this fight goes on, Bobby Green's going to start to wear on him. That 10-8 is super live in the third. I mean, this is a meme fight of meme fights. So I don't want to play a side, but the draw at 80-1, I had to take a poke there for generational wealth.
Man, these guys have had some world-class shit talking, to kick this thing off.
Would you want to fuck with Bobby Green? I don't.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't want that smoke.
He's a BMF, dude. He's a bad motherfucker. I don't want that. And I don't want any part of that. Now, the flip side of it, though, Patty provoking him there, talking about how, the name change and you're 40-something years old and you're changing your name to King is fucking embarrassing. I mean, that was one of my favorite quotes of the entire pre-fight analysis here. So there's definitely no love lost between these two guys. And hell, you know what? I like a little 80-1 action there. That'd be a little fun spot to root for because we'll be going crazy if that thing ends up cashing. And why not? I mean, you're certainly right because Patty kind of started off hot. Everybody was talking about the name, but it does seem like as he kind of reminds me. You remember the movie? Was it The Great White Hype? And okay. And I believe I forgot who the actor was. Was it Wayans? Was it Wayans' brother? And he just got sloppy and like he comes out there to fight the guy, and that just to me seems like how Patty. He just doesn't seem. Maybe it's the British side of him. I don't know. I have no offense to our fans.
Patty's been good. He's been skating by on some really thin margins with these fights. And Bobby Green is definitely has the way this matchup plays out, I think favors Green in a lot of ways. I cannot discount the fact that there's going to be a ton of chicanery here, though. A ton. So, and this whole he's in England, he's going to win a decision. Well, he won a decision in New York that was rigged. I don't think it matters where it is. He lost to Jared Gordon. I don't care what anybody. He lost that fight, but they don't care. That's Dana White's new bell cow. So that's what pauses me from betting on Bobby Green. I think he'd probably have to be drawing to a finish. But man, Patty's tough, man. He's a lot more durable. He's another guy with tall man defense. But he's a lot more durable than people realize. Because he's like Ric Flair. He gets hit, his hair flies all over the place, and it just looks magnificent. But he's tough, man. He's durable. So.
When I see him, I also think of Nigel the kicker and the replacements there with Keanu
smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
You think Patty owes people money?
He just, to me, it reminds me of that guy. I can't. The two of them are just the same. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and I just feel like I can't.
You think Patty owes somebody money just from like that's why he's running?
Who's gonna take the dive? I heard you guys talking about that last night. And Lou, I popped your channel. I'll pop it there again in the chat. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about what you guys got going on over there at Way Past That?
Thanks. I appreciate it. Always happy to be here, by the way. We do a lot of MMA shows Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, apparently today. Also, soccer's coming up. I'll be doing a weekly show with that as well. But my partner, Monk Maddox, and I are going to start rolling out what we are calling the bullshit nonsense content starting Tuesday. And it's going to have nothing to do with sports. We're just trying to do some lunacy shit. And we're starting this week with a show that we still haven't named, but it's going to be a tournament style of this week. We're just picking 4 of the most badass people on TV. We're going to make our case. You guys vote. We'll put it on Twitter. The next week we'll come back. We're on the semis and the finals. The whole thing started because he said Al Swearingen is the biggest badass on TV. And Monk's great, but he's wrong and I hate him. It's Lorne Malvo. Lorne Malvo is the toughest guy on TV, but that's what the show is going to be. We got the body cam game show coming up, which is probably going to get me tossed off of YouTube. I don't know how I'm going to really survive that one. We got some other weird shit coming down the pipeline, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, if you like the tone, if you guys like Mike, I think you'd like some of the stuff we do. Mike and I, our sense of humor is pretty well aligned. So I think you'll like it. And if Mike's still laughing about something from last night, must be doing something right.
They don't like me. They just like getting some cash. So it's
it's like the money. That's
though,
right.
Oh, I appreciate that, Lou. I enjoy always having you around. We did such a great job with soccer. You were firing. We were cashing like crazy across those Euros, and I know there's a lot more to come. So I'm excited that we've gotten the opportunity to work together, and I want to do more. We're going to be on Way Past That next week with the First Strike crew, and we'll keep seeing you around on Saturdays
I'll
as well.
pop in your chat tomorrow to annoy you.
Well, have a great UFC 304. You've earned it. You've grinded out all week long. 14 fights, no short of staying busy morning to night for you. And respect, my guy. Appreciate you coming on, giving us them looks out there. Look for the draw. Look for the draw potential there, 80-1. The big banger of the night. I definitely haven't heard anybody say that. So that's it, you guys. Appreciate Luke coming in, hanging out with us out there. Everybody in the chat, Juggler23, Subhuman, Gaucho, Steve Gregory. Appreciate you guys coming in, doing the thing there. Nasty Nate's in the house. Joe T, Morgan Spooner, all you guys, Gerardo Hernandez, Steve Gregory, Deer Slayer Ski, Cliff Yang. We got a big weekend coming up, you guys. Make sure you pace yourselves. Get this cash tonight. Let's stack this bankroll high. We're going to let it fly tomorrow. Big pay-per-view 304. Shout out to Lou. Desk of Lou Betcha on X. Make sure you follow him. Go check out the Way Past That YouTube channel. Just getting rolling. Make sure you guys show the support. And we'll see you guys real soon. Appreciate everybody rocking this week with us. Good luck with your bets.